Glorious day to be above the mud in downtown Charlottesville. Thank you kindly for joining us. Take a look at the screen for some topic matter for the Friday edition of the program. We're live all over social media. I want to follow up with the Salvation Army discussion. I thought Carole Thorpe, the Queen of Jack Jewett, had a fantastic comment on yesterday's show. I will lead with that comment, get you thinking about it, and then give you a snapshot of what we're going to cover today. She said, and she's the Queen of Jack Jewett, she is a very well-read, well-informed citizen, a proud Albemarle County resident, the Queen of Jack Jewett, who you heard at the last council meeting speaking on the record before council about how they're managing Market Street Park and this homeless encampment. Yesterday she said, Jerry, I made inquiries of Mark Van Meter with the Charlottesville Salvation Army on Monday. He told me that they have raised a little over $5 million of their $22 million goal for their Center of Hope capital campaign, which will add 50 beds, including family quarters, to the Salvation Army. That additional beds will complement their current 50 beds and expand their entire facility. Carole Thorpe says, for starters, why does not the city partner with them to help expedite this worthwhile project instead of reinventing the wheel from the ground up? Then today in our pre-production meeting, Judah does some preparation, his opinion valued on the show, and he researches this through a story on NBC 29. Currently, the city of Charlottesville and the Salvation Army are not working together in any kind of strategic plan. You have Carole Thorpe, a connected, well-read, well-followed, civically engaged citizen, a regular viewer and listener of this fine and fair talk show, highlighting the Salvation Army and its capital campaign where it can 2x the available shelter, the sleeping availability. And then Judah does some digging and he finds that the city currently does not have a plan or a partnership in place with the Salvation Army. That boggles my mind. Carole calls it, what did she call it? I'm going to read it verbatim here. She calls it reinventing the wheel, Judah, from the ground up. That's exactly what the city is doing.
Yeah.
We're going to pick that apart like Thanksgiving turkey today on the I Love CVille Show. I also want to cover on the program the follow-up of the breaking news we had on the show yesterday. The nonprofit Friends of CVille, it's a nonprofit, a 501c3 that's looking to improve quality of life in downtown Charlottesville and drive more foot traffic and positivity to downtown Charlottesville. I'm a huge fan of the Friends of CVille. They're installing cameras up and down the downtown mall. The money from this camera installation project is money that was raised by passing the hat to downtown businesses and downtown landlords and real estate owners. Cameras on either side of the mall. I had the take yesterday that this is managing perception and fostering the perception of safety and security through camera infrastructure installation. I also mentioned Jesse Matthew, the serial killer, the guy who murdered Hannah Graham, sentenced to life. He picked up Hannah Graham, who was a 18-year-old second-year UVA student, out of Tempo, the bar, and put her on his shoulder and carried her out. One of the ways that he was caught, Jesse Matthew, then 32 at the time, this was in 2014, was through cameras positioned on the mall. Now, a lot of feedback to the program in our inboxes, text messages, emails, DMs on the camera situation. And this tweet from a respected viewer and listener is Jay Aswadi. Jay, am I messing up your last name? If you can jump in the chat, let me know how you say your name. Jay Aswadi, A-S-W-A-D-I. He says, Jerry, also for you, Judah, you should hear this. Jerry, as a libertarian, I don't want the government or a nonprofit installing cameras on the mall. It is overreach. Cops walking on the mall creates more of a deterrent than cameras, and the city should hire more cops. I get this one from Grayson, who routinely watches the show, North Downtown. He says, Jerry and Judah, cameras on the mall is a stretch for me and my family. We want the mall to return to safety, but we also fear technology criminals and what they can do with hacking unprotected systems. I get maybe a dozen of these have come in with that similar theme. I want to unpack that concept. Cameras on the mall, safety measure or personal intrusion? Judah and I will discuss this on the show today. I want to talk Barracks Road Shopping Center, the #1 shopping district in the city of Charlottesville, and their price per square feet justify the statement I'm about to say. The most expensive rental market in Charlottesville City is Barracks Road Shopping Center, and it's not even close. Lynn Goldman of Lynn Goldman Elements, she's on the downtown mall now. She told me one time going from Barracks Road to the downtown mall saved her significant money in rent and justified the move. Barracks Road Shopping Center has 17,929 square feet of vacant storefront space. Barracks Road Shopping Center is owned by Federal Realty. Federal Realty is a publicly traded company. This publicly traded company and one of their trophy shopping centers, Barracks Road, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vacant storefronts. Judah Wickower. 8 vacant storefronts in Barracks Road Shopping Center, a shopping center that before COVID was at capacity and had a waiting list of tenants looking to spend, some of these tenants, $60, $70, $80 a square foot. I've said on this program, the restaurant that's paying the highest rent in Central Virginia is Ralph Sampson Tap House. Ralph Sampson's Tap House has an island pad. It's not within the shopping center. It's basically on an island in the shopping center, and it's massive. That's the most expensive rent in Charlottesville for a restaurant. So I want to unpack 17,929 square feet of vacant storefront in Barracks Road Shopping Center on today's show. I also want to chatter on today's program. Greene County Board of Supervisor resigning midterm. Neil Williamson, the president of the Free Enterprise Forum, broke this news. You do not often see supervisors resigning in the middle of their term, and we have now one in Greene County. Abby Heflin has quit effective immediately. She joined the Board of Supervisors for the Standardsville District, Neil Williamson reports, in January of 2021. Her term expires in December 31 of 2025. So her term expires in 26 months? Over 2 years? Effective immediately, she's resigned. This is, the last time I could remember this happening wasn't so long ago with Sina McGill quitting midterm with Charlottesville City Council. So that's breaking news from Neil Williamson. Abby Heflin, Standardsville Supervisor, Greene County, has quit effective immediately midterm. We'll talk about that on today's show, and we got some thoughts and predictions for 2023. Judah, why don't we weave you in on a two-shot? A lot of people watching the program right now, Judah. A lot of people watching the program right now. You and I talked topics before the show to discuss what we want to cover. You came up with this one. I thought was fantastic. Mm-hmm. It complements Carole Thorpe's comments from yesterday, which I thought were darn good. Yeah. Carole Thorpe said, look, if we want to make an impact with fixing the homeless encampment aggressive panhandling, and the
don't start from scratch.
Mounting homeless problem. Don't start from scratch. Just like partner with the nonprofits or the organizations that already have infrastructure in place, the institutional memory.
And what do you want to call it, a company, nonprofit that's been doing it for decades. I've got a spider climbing on my...
Jason Howard and Kevin Yancey. We'll get to your comments here in a matter of moments. Kevin Yancey of Waynesboro, Jason Howard of Rio Road. What you uncovered really surprised me, where there was not an active... Judah's saving a spider's life. There was literally a spider on his microphone arm. Most people... There's the spider. You can see it right there. Can they see it? It's on his fingertips. Judah's holding a spider. It's crawling up your finger, down your ring finger, up your ring finger, going around the corner. It's now between your ring finger and your pinky, going up your pinky. Most people, it's now got a web dropping from your pinky. Most people would squash that. Judah's going to gently rest the spider on the side of his desk. Wait, do you think that is what? What was it, your aunt that passed away, that drank the Jim Beam and smoked the cigarettes?
Oh, I got a funny story about
was it your aunt?
No, it was my grandmother.
Your grandma. She had a business card, right? That she would carry around, and what was on that business card?
I wish I had my wallet. It basically had how she liked her drink,
How'd she like her drink?
She liked it in a glass, neat, with a second glass filled with ice that she could move over to the drink glass as she needed it.
And she drank Jim Beam.
Yep.
And she smoked cigarettes, right?
Yep.
Lung butter sticks, right? Do you think that your grandma reincarnated? Is that why we're trying to save the spider's life?
No. I used to be terrified of spiders, and I've been getting over that. I still, like if I walked through a web and found a spider crawling on my face, I'd still probably scream for the entire neighborhood to hear. But I'm getting over it, and spiders are bros. They keep the flies and the mosquitoes and the other annoying bugs out of your home, and they literally can't hurt you.
Judah Wickower.
Like most spiders won't bite you.
There you go. Going spiders. Spider
and even
talk.
the scary ones, you'd have to have like an underlying medical condition to really be worried about getting bitten by a spider.
Judah's getting over his arachnophobia.
Yeah.
And is now saving the lives of spiders. The I Love CVille Show. That's quality content right there. That's for you, Andrew, on Twitter. Here's Salvation Army. Look, we talk topics that are raw and real on this show. Why is the city manager not forming an immediate partnership with the Salvation Army?
I'm surprised that there hasn't been a partnership formed before now.
Decades ago. This is literally from an NBC 29 article.
We've had unhoused people in Charlottesville
I've been here 23 years. I've been here 23 years.
Does anyone honestly think that there was a time in our recent past when there weren't unhoused people in Charlottesville? Go to any city and they have people that don't have homes. So obviously, we've had Salvation Army. You see them going up 5th Street Extended, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure they're doing something, but why in this article are we reading that there's no? Why does it say the Salvation Army says it doesn't have a plan with Charlottesville? Right?
Exact phrase. The Salvation Army says it does not have a plan with Charlottesville right now, but hopes to change it. Van Meter, the Salvation Army spokesman, says, and I quote, "We know how to do shelters. We've been doing shelters for many decades, and so we know how to staff. We know how to program it. We just We know just how to provide those services, end quote. And he clearly indicates there is no plan in place with Charlottesville right now. And this was as of less than 3 days ago. He gave that quote to NBC 29. Less than 3 days ago, Charlottesville City and the Salvation Army had no strategic plan, no strategic partnership, no joint venture. Viewers and listeners, I'm flummoxed. I am confused. I don't understand that. I'm bewildered. You have literally an organization known for providing shelters with a reputable brand. Salvation Army at Christmas time, the bell ringers with the kettlebell.
Yeah.
Michael Guthrie, one of the most famous bell ringers with the kettlebell in Charlottesville, Albemarle County. You saw him often on Ivy Road at Bel Air, across from the old Roy Wheeler, now Howard Hanna. Mm-hmm. We should respectfully connect with City Council and with Sam Sanders and ask the question, why did you not start with the Salvation Army? They have a campaign going to the tune of $22 million. They're $5 million roughly into the campaign. Their goal is $22 million, and that can 2x the bed count from 50, get them to 100, plus build a family sleeping quarters as well. This is low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. And when you have a crisis, and it's time we all admit this, we have a crisis on our hands when it comes to housing in Charlottesville. The pandemic has exasperated this crisis. Exacerbated, thank you. The values have escalated dramatically. Yeah. At the same time, interest rates have 2.5x'd.
Mushroomed.
2.5, 2.75x, depending on where you do your shopping. Mm-hmm. So you got housing values since the pandemic have gone up, depending on where you live, 30 to 70%. Some cases 80%.
Yeah.
You have interest rates going from 2% to now flirting with 8%. I mean, that's damn near close to a 4x if someone got a 2%er. A lot of people got 3%ers. 80% of American homeowners have interest rates below 4%. Home values escalate at the same time. Rates jump at the same time. People flock to Charlottesville. Bloomberg magazine said Charlottesville in 2022 was the 15th in the nation for remote and hybrid work, the Charlottesville metro area. 15th in the area with percentage of workers, 15th in the country with percentage of workers working remotely or hybrid. Mm-hmm. Nearly a quarter of the Charlottesville metro area, according to Bloomberg, is working remote or hybrid. You got people flocking to the city with big bags of money, tied to UVA, eventually tied to the $11 billion, 11B with a B billion, Amazon in Louisa County. That speculation is 800 to 1,200 jobs. I heard that from a board of supervisor in Louisa. Data science school, biotech school, expanded UVA enrollment, and UVA hiring more people. You're going to have 8,000 to 10,000 additional people moving to this area within the next, 5 to 7 years? There's a phrase in business, and I was having this conversation with a colleague, a business associate, earlier today in a Zoom call. It's the KISS method. You know what the KISS method is?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. Opening up a park by lifting the curfew is not the KISS method. The KISS method is going to establish organizations and saying, how can we help you with the resources we have? The resources Charlottesville City has is...
I mean, we've got the Salvation Army. You've got...
Money.
What?
Money. Money.
Okay.
Charlottesville City has money. Yearly budget well over $200 million. Salvation Army is trying to raise $22 million. They've currently raised $5 million. Mm-hmm. They're $17 million short of their $22 million goal. And if they can hit their $22 million goal, they get an additional 50 beds. They double what they currently have, plus they create a family quarters for folks living on the streets in a family capacity to have shelter. You take a percentage of the money Charlottesville has, and you also utilize the platform that Charlottesville government has, the influence that the dais and council have, and you rally the community through current taxpayer dollars in the coffers, or by putting this on the front and center radar of Central Virginia and say, we need to get the Salvation Army to 22 million, because that'll get, at minimum, 50 additional people off the streets and in beds. Winter is coming, it's going to get cold, and an entire family, multiple families, in sleeping arrangements or quarters. That's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
There's also Pacham.
Go down that road.
I mean, this article talks about the fact that they haven't started up yet, but we're literally just talking about churches. We're talking about people that want to help, that have opened up their churches, usually during the winter months, to the houseless population. I know our church in years past has hosted, we've hosted unhoused women. And I think, from what I understand, some of the churches basically cycle through. So one church will have a group of women be able to spend the night at the church for a week or two, and then it'll move to another church. But that's not like something that needs a lot of preparation. It's basically like, hey, look, we have a problem. Call whoever they have to talk to with Pacham, and say, hey, is there any way we can find a church to house some people because we're having some issues? I'm sure that there are many churches in the Charlottesville area that would be happy to open their doors and help out.
Judah Wickhauer dropping dimes. J-Dubs, as he's known to his adoring fans. On Twitter, Egg Store Sean, back-to-back days offering commentary on Twitter. He says, A, nobody wants cameras anywhere until there's a crime, and then people realize they need the cameras. And he also says, Charlottesville has a perfect storm right now for homelessness and panhandling. I've highlighted that for about a month on the program, with the soup kitchens, now the park with the no curfew, the downtown mall with the free internet, electrical outlets to charge devices everywhere, breakfast, lunch, and dinner offered for free everywhere, and then a level of obscene wealth in Charlottesville, and at times guilt that comes with that obscene wealth that yields giving money. This from Deep Throat on Twitter. This is a good one from Deep Throat. I was just in London, Jerry and Judah, and one thing you notice there is that CCTV cameras are everywhere. Deep Throat then says, I looked up CCTV density. London, England has the most CCTV cameras per kilometer outside of Asia. 39.27 CCTV cameras per kilometer. New York has the highest density of CCTV cameras installed in the U.S.
Yeah, those are great points. Not to mention the fact that most of us are carrying around iPhones that have facial recognition, GPS, so they always know where you are. I mean, they used to have fingerprint openers. Like, people that are worried about government overreach in cameras and things like that. I mean, I completely understand. I'm with you, but at the same time, we've pretty much signed away our privacy by adopting phones like this. And
no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
the fact of the matter is that we're already there. It's just a matter of how connected those systems are.
So what I've really appreciated Jay interacting with us on Twitter. Jay says he's a libertarian and he doesn't want the government or a nonprofit installing cameras on the mall. He says it's an overreach. Instead, what we should be doing is filling the vacancies within the police department and hiring more policemen and having those police officers on a more visible beat on the downtown mall. How about I throw a hypothetical out there?
I agree, but I feel like, this is Central Virginia, this is Charlottesville.
Kevin Yancey says the difference with the cameras is all the ones you've talked about are state operated and not a local nonprofit. Devil's advocate. I know it's Friends of CVille doing the installation. We do not know if they have the access strictly to the footage. Does it change anything in your mind that it's a nonprofit doing it and not local government doing it? That's Yancey's point. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, to my way of thinking, that's one step removed from government. I mean, what are these people going to do with a bunch of video footage of people walking around the mall? Seriously. Are we worried that someone's going to see you walking on the mall for 15 seconds while you're in view of one of the cameras?
I mean, I will straight up say this. The cameras on the mall helped catch Jesse Matthew, who picked up Hannah Graham at Tempo Restaurant and put her on his shoulder and literally carried a second-year, 18-year-old student out of a bar in front of dozens of other people.
That's nuts. But who was that a Tempo camera?
It was a camera it was not a Tempo camera. It was a camera position storefronts next to Tempo that caught her.
It was from the storefronts. They were the installers.
It was, yes, in this particular circumstance, it was a storefront camera that caught her. If memory serves, if memory serves, and this was 2014, so this is 9 years ago. Can't believe this was 9 years ago. It feels like it was yesterday. It was the camera at Sal's Cafe Italia that saw him walking down the mall, and then they saw
Tempo.
There was a camera there that saw him walking down the mall to Tempo, and they were then able to piecemeal other cameras that were more closer to Tempo with him walking down the mall, and then the ones that were around Tempo that started the identification process of Jesse Matthew.
Yeah.
Kevin's making a good point. The footage that captured, he's right. That's what I remember as well. The footage that captured Jesse Matthew were privately owned store cameras. That's what I remember as well. I'm going to respond to that. That's what I remember as well. So what your thoughts of a nonprofit doing it for the mall in totality? I also want to emphasize this. By the letter of the law, the downtown mall is a public park. The definition in the letter of the law, the downtown mall is literally a public park. So on previous shows, and I've had a couple of viewers and listeners correct me on this, I've said the park that has the most prestige and pedigree in the city of Charlottesville is Market Street Park because of its location to downtown, its location to the police department, its location to all the courthouses, and the fact that it's right close to the shopping district that everyone wants to visit from a tourist, local, parents, UVA student standpoint. Technically, the park with the most prestige and pedigree is the downtown itself.
Yeah.
Now, that might be splitting hairs a little bit because a lot of folks don't necessarily see the mall as a park. They see it more as a shopping district. In fact, the largest aggregation or the most density of storefronts in the city is the downtown mall. But technically, it's a park. Mm-hmm. Does it change anything for you that it's a nonprofit that's doing it as opposed to private-owned businesses that's doing it? I would imagine that's the point Jay's going to make on Twitter as well. It's one thing if a private business, and Jay's already indicated his ideology. He said, I'm a libertarian. So we know what libertarians want. I identify in a lot of ways with what the libertarians stand for. I'm a small government guy. I don't want the government telling me what to do.
Yeah.
I'm fiscally conservative and socially liberal.
Yeah.
Just don't want the government telling me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Pro-women's rights, less taxation without representation, less taxation in totality. I want contested elections. Truly believe marijuana should be completely legalized and able to be sold at the retail level. Small government. He's going to say cameras installed by private businesses are fine because it's that private business's choice to do it. Then he will say a nonprofit doing it for an entire district is completely different than a private business doing it itself. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I mean, I get that there are differences in in the layout and the outcome of setting that kind of thing up in the two different versions. I also think again that we're not talking about Washington D.C. or this is Central Virginia, and I don't know what kind of connection this system is going to have to the net, how easily hackable it'll be, and even if it is, really, why would somebody want to hack the cameras on the downtown mall?
See, Janice Boyce Trevelyan says citizens in London are spray painting those cameras Deep Throat. So Janice Boyce Trevelyan is responding to Deep Throat. She's doing it on one of the 15 Facebook pages this show is airing upon and saying that the citizens in London are spray painting those cameras. Rachel Burns, welcome to the program. Dylan Allwood, welcome to the program. Kelly Jackson, welcome to the program. Matt Neese, Amanda Kathleen, welcome to the program. Constance Wyant, welcome to the program. Holly Foster, you got Henrico, you got Keswick, you got Atlanta, you got Buckhead, you got folks in Florida watching those programs. Deep Throat responds to Janice Boyce Trevelyan by saying this: no, those are the ULEZ cameras. See, this is above my pay grade here, this camera technology chatter. He says the CCTV cameras have been there for 20 years. He says the ones that are being spray painted, Janice, are the ULEZ cameras. Vanessa Parkhill in Earlysville said a camera was at Tool Jewelers. I was just chatting with Mary at Tool Jewelers the other day, and she says one of the cameras at Tool Jewelers caught Jesse Matthew. Vanessa Parkhill says, are the cameras installed by the nonprofit installed on private property or public? This is what I saw. I saw the cameras being installed right above the storefront windows. You just had two counselors walk by the studio. You had cameras being installed above the entries to the storefronts.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it's in a joint venture partnership where they're getting approval from the businesses and the owners of the building to do the installation. In fact, I'd be willing to bet some smackaroos that was the case. Bill McChesney, the mayor of McIntyre, says Patcham was started because some homeless folks froze to death many years ago. Kevin Yancey, it is private property where they're being installed. It is private property, 100%. 100% private property. So we're unpacking a couple of key items, and these items we're unpacking are tied together. The city partnering with the Salvation Army to help the Salvation Army go from $5 million to $22 million, which would take them from 50 beds for the homeless to 100 beds from the homeless, and also create a family quarters sleeping arrangement for families sleeping on the streets. They just need $17 million more. That's like 7 or 8% of the city of Charlottesville yearly budget. Literally.
I mean,
and
7 or 8% of a budget is not an insignificant amount.
Fair, but the city council every year is allocating, and by every year, I mean almost every city council meeting is allocating funds to nonprofits.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it would be poorly spent. I'm just saying that's not an insignificant amount to ask for. But
it's not an insignificant amount. You're 100% right. But I do want to emphasize, city council could, if it wanted to, say this particular year or this particular quarter or these back-to-back quarters, our nonprofit allocations will be strictly to the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
City council could do that.
Yeah.
And if it did do that, it would help the Salvation Army go from $5 million to $22 million, and it would raise awareness for the campaign, which would lead or yield other donations from private citizens and businesses.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, good God, I would bet you Friends of CVille, who's already organizing this camera installation on the downtown mall, and the camera installation on the downtown mall is undoubtedly tied to the rise in homelessness and aggressive panhandling on the downtown mall.
And wouldn't it be crazy if some of the insane political donations that we hear about
Sonia Smith
went to I wasn't
Sonia? Come on, Sonia.
We've let's not single anyone out. There have been a lot of campaign donations this go around, but imagine if some of that money were to be used to improve our
quality of life,
our facilities for the unhoused population.
There you go. Judah Wickhauer dropping dimes. Hey, Michael Bills and Sonia Smith, you're the kingmakers of politics in the Commonwealth of Virginia. You literally donate more money to politicians that are running or active than anyone in Charlottesville, anyone in the Commonwealth, except maybe Dominion Electric. And in some election cycles, you donate more than Dominion Electric. Why don't you, instead of giving, was it 15,000 smackaroos to Allison Spillman? Is that how much she got? Let me go to VPAP. I think that was 15,000 smackaroos Sonia Smith gave Allison Spillman in a school board race in Albemarle County. Why don't we give some of that money to Salvation Army with their capital improvement project, Project Hope? Help them 2X the beds. How about that? Top donors. Let me see top donors. Yeah, memory was right. 15G, Sonia to Allison. John Hickey, second for Allison Spillman's campaign, $1,600 donation. And the embattled Christopher Seaman at $1,327 donated to Allison Spillman's campaign. Well, welcome Trey Barham to the program. Trey, thank you for watching on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, jump in here with questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, perspective. Got a couple of media outlets watching us on the program right now. We love when the local media watches the show. Janice Boyce Trevelyan says, tell Deep Throat to check out hashtag Blade Runners on Instagram. It is the APNR cameras. Janice Boyce Trevelyan says, Deep Throat, check out hashtag Blade Runners on Instagram. It is the APNR cameras. That's from JBT to Deep Throat. We got folks conversating on different platforms. We love when the viewers and listeners are doing that. Are you doing that now, Judah?
I'm going to check it out.
Blade Runners on Instagram. Judah's going to go check it out. All right, I want to get to Barracks Road here as you check it out. Viewers and listeners, jump in with perspective. I found this interesting. Kelly Jackson, I'm curious of your take on this, KJ. Respect your opinion on this. Frankly, I respect your opinion on anything, KJ. I sincerely mean that. I think you know that. There are 8 vacant storefronts currently on Barracks Road Shopping Center. 8 storefronts vacant in Barracks Road Shopping Center, the premier shopping district in the city, certainly the most expensive price per square foot in the city. 17,929 vacant and open square feet in Federal Realty's, in one of Federal Realty's primo or prime trophy properties. That's massive. That's significant. If you like where I got this information, you can go to LoopNet. to see this info. In fact, I'll take the link from LoopNet and I will paste it in the comment section of my personal Facebook page. I'm pasting it in the comment section of the I Love CVille Facebook page, of the I Love CVille Food Facebook page. On LinkedIn, I'm pasting it in the thread of this show on Twitter. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about here. I'm putting it on Twitter. LoopNet link we are talking about now on the I Love CVille show. All right? And then I'm going to put it on the I Love CVille group comment section. Let me know if you find the that Instagram account, or if it's worth talking about. Deep Throat's conversating with Janice Boyce Trevelyan over here. We're like the phone operator here. Go ahead.
Find the hashtag Blade Runners. The top picture is a picture of Hulk Hogan and what's the guy's name? Anyways,
Randy, Macho Man.
No.
The Sarge.
I can't. He had
Mr. T.
He had a mask thing, and it's been such a long time. Let me see.
Sting.
No.
Luchadores.
Warrior guy. Ultimate Warrior.
I love the Ultimate Warrior.
I'm not sure what that has to do with Blade Runner, but there are quite a few. Posts about the ULEZ cameras.
This is what Deep Throat says to Janice Boyce Trevelyan. The Blade Runners are outraged at the charge for old high-emissions vehicles that go in central London. There are license plate cameras to catch these people and bill them. The Blade Runners are wrecking the license plate reader cameras for the ULEZ zone.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching, a video of a guy climbing a pole and wrecking one, and somebody responded to this with, "Your car does not meet the required emissions levels, so it is not ULEZ compliant. But if you pay me £12.50 pence, I'm not sure, a day, I will let you still drive that very same car every day." And they're not happy about Sadiq Khan, who I believe is the MP, Prime Minister, PM. Prime Minister of London, England.
We're getting way out of my pay grade right now.
Yeah.
Way out of my pay grade.
I'm not sure how that relates to someone putting up cameras on the downtown mall.
Well, Vanessa Parkhill's made the point. If it's private businesses putting up the cameras themselves, libertarians should have no problem with it. Many viewers and listeners are making the comment, if it's a third party or a nonprofit putting up the cameras with the approval of the private business owners and or the owners of the real estate, then libertarians should have no problem with it. Multiple viewers and listeners are saying that this is not government doing it, so libertarians should not have a problem with it. Kevin Higgins in Greenwood, Virginia has said the cameras, echoing what you've said, the phones and cameras we have in our hands or in our pockets every day should be much more worrisome than a camera that's hung above a storefront in the downtown mall.
Yeah, we've given up so much liberty at this point that I keep reiterating the fact that this is Charlottesville, Virginia. I don't see this.
I don't like that take, though.
Why?
I don't like that take. I don't like that take because a libertarian by nature is going to think or question or wonder the worst case scenario and if it could happen. And the worst case scenario is the hacking of this infrastructure for nefarious purposes. What? And you're basically marginalizing Charlottesville by saying it's so tiny, small potatoes that no one's ever going to do that.
Well, first I'm marginalizing it by
we had Nazis attack us.
First I'm marginalizing it by saying that I don't even know if it's going to be connected to anything. And yes, I'm marginalizing it by saying, really, some group is going to hack the system and do what with it?
Neil Sam.
What possible benefit could you gain from video of people walking back and forth on the downtown mall?
Neil Sam watching the program. Neil is one of the best pool players I have ever played pool with. He is a father now, a photographer, fantastic pool player. He says the ULEZ is to identify ultra-low emissions compliance, so it is just a special type of camera.
Yeah.
And he says, I agree with the cell phone refs. Basically saying the freedom, dude, if someone wanted to F us, it would not be through a camera on the downtown mall. If they wanted to F us, it would be...
I mean, TikTok users. If TikTok really is run by China...
That's a good one.
They literally think of all the people...
I deleted TikTok from my phone.
Think of all the people taking video of their surroundings. They're not just videotaping themselves. They're videotaping all the people that show up behind them or in front of them or outside of, you talk about being able to use video of people without their consent, but I bet most of us have ended up in somebody's videos that we didn't even realize.
Oh, no doubt.
While the person was just, filming around, whether it was on a vacation or
100%
FaceTiming someone, and you happen to walk by behind them. We are so immersed in video technology that, and again, let's say somebody did hack all of the videos, all of the cameras on the downtown mall, however many they're planning on.
I mean, listen to this point.
What are they going to do with it?
Listen to this point from Jason Howard.
You were on the downtown mall at some point?
Jason Howard makes this point. We have all been on tape in grocery stores since the 1980s, if not before. Getting recorded walking in front of a Jack Brown's doesn't bother me. Getting recorded browsing turnips doesn't bother me either. Jason Howard, the king of Rio. I'm going to give him some props on that comment. Dude.
Good points.
Very good points. And Judah makes excellent points. Excellent points. If the app TikTok is truly controlled by the Chinese government and they have nefarious purposes, nefarious intentions, we've probably been in more TikTok videos than you even know about.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, maybe you call me paranoid. I deleted the app TikTok. Because when my friends and colleagues that work for government agencies or are subcontractors for government agencies say their organizations do not allow TikTok on their phones, I listen to them.
Yeah.
Because they know stuff I don't know. University of Virginia doesn't allow UVA students to get on TikTok on the UVA network or its professors. Did you know that?
I did not.
The University of Virginia, on its network, does not allow students and professors to get on TikTok.
It's understandable. And again, really, we
got to talk Barracks Road.
I do understand the distaste some people feel towards cameras, and I get the argument. I just honestly don't see what someone would gain by hacking downtown mall cameras.
Carly Wagner, welcome to the program. Matt Yancey, welcome to the program. Richmond, Virginia in full force. Vanessa Parkhill says, did you see the VA-based AI company that is looking to use their tech to pour over cameras in schools in an effort to identify potential threats? Maybe they monitor the mall too. Vanessa says, maybe we should all take a moment to watch Minority Report and The Terminator this weekend. She says that a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
Watch some of those things. They're going to make you a little nervous when technology becomes and what technology in the wrong hands can do.
I know.
Hence the TikTok reference.
Minority Report was about arresting people before they even commit crimes.
Minority Report is a hell of a franchise. Keith Clark, welcome to the program.
What do you mean a franchise?
Movie franchise. When you have a movie, you have it's a franchise when you have more than one.
Minority Report only has one.
What's that?
Minority Report only has one.
I thought there was more than one Minority Report. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
No. What's the one? Maybe am I thinking the one with Matt?
It was a Tom Cruise movie based on a.
Oh, I'm thinking the one with Matt Damon. What was the Matt Damon one? That was in the similar. You're right. That is Tom Cruise. What's the Matt Damon one? That was a franchise where he's kind of like a spy.
Oh, you're talking
The
about
Bourne Identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I confused those. What's your favorite Matt Damon movie of all time?
My My favorite Matt Damon movie? Well, I just watched The Last Duel with my parents.
That's your number one?
I don't know if it's my number one, but it was a really, really good movie. It was somewhat similar to Rashomon with the different perspectives, and it was really extremely well done. Ridley Scott is an amazing director, and all the actors: Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Jodie Comer, Ben Affleck. And they all did spectacular jobs. Highly recommend the movie.
I'll go Good Will Hunting.
I've never seen that movie.
Wow, you would love it. Good Will Hunting is excellent. Good Will Hunting set Matt Damon and Ben Affleck on their path to superstardom.
Yeah, because they wrote it.
Yeah, and starred in it.
Yeah.
Robin Williams, the late, great Robin Williams, was fantastic in Good Will Hunting. The therapist to troubled Matt Damon, a genius. Mm-hmm. A genius from the streets of Boston.
Yeah. How do you like them apples?
How do you like them apples? Minnie Driver, fell in love with Minnie Driver in Good Will Hunting. The beautiful Harvard student and the love interest of Matt Damon and his character Will Hunting. Also, it should not be forgotten that Ben Affleck's younger brother, Casey Affleck, was in Good Will Hunting. And Casey Affleck parlayed perhaps his proximity to Ben Affleck into a pretty stellar movie career as well.
Yeah.
Casey Affleck, a star in, what was the name of that movie he was in?
He's been in all kinds of stuff.
No, but there was one that really, Gone, Baby, Gone. Have you seen that one? Oh my gosh. Dude, if you haven't seen Gone, Baby...
That was the one where she disappears, but she fakes her disappearance or something?
Well, no spoilers.
Oh, okay, well...
No spoilers.
I haven't seen the movie, so
no spoilers.
Not like I'm giving away anything that I know.
It was Ben Affleck's directorial debut, Gone, Baby, Gone. Viewers and listeners, watch those movies this weekend. Good Will Hunting and Gone, Baby, Gone. Judah, watch Good Will Hunting this weekend.
Maybe.
Why?
I just watched part of it the other day. I was looking up the...
it didn't tickle your fancy?
The Apples line. The thing is, I know most of the story already. That's the problem, is I absorb a lot of information, and so I like movies that I've never even thought to watch. I know most of the story to already. But anyways.
All right. Can we talk Barracks Road? I got a 2:00 meeting. Barracks Road, 8 open storefronts, 17,929 vacant square feet in Barracks Road Shopping Center.
Man.
Where do you want to go with that?
We were worried about the downtown mall a few months ago. You thought there were far more empty storefronts on the downtown mall.
A few months ago, there were 11.
Than there were.
There were 11.
But when you had me go and check, there were 5.
We should take a walk and look. Did you look on the side streets? This was on this was a media stories too. Downtown mall, vacancy, NBC 29. Let me Google that, see if that comes up. August 11th, 2023. Retail vacancies fluctuating in Charlottesville. All right, this is from NBC 29. Charlottesville's downtown mall has the most stores in the city. This is from an August 11th, 2023 NBC 29 report. The headline is Retail Vacancies Fluctuating in Charlottesville. I'll Facebook DM you this right now, Judah, so you can see it as well. So I'm going to Facebook DM you this. This is from 40 days ago. It's in your Facebook DMs. NBC 29 reported that the downtown mall has the most stores in the city, 190 total stores, but the most vacancies at 11. Vacancies that were up at Seminole Square as well, increasing from 5 to 7 from the beginning of the year. The Corner reported 2 vacancies at the start of the year. Barracks Road Shopping Center improved from 8 to 6 vacancies since January. It's now back to 8. So 8 vacancies for Barracks and Basically 18,000 square feet, the exact amount 17,929. That's significant. That is significant. Kevin, what was the comment that you made, Yancey? Of the curve, the parallel? I'm trying to find that comment again. If you post that again, Yancey, I'll read it on air because I thought it was a good one. The comment you made about comparing and contrasting the vacancies, post that on the feed again if you could. All right, here's my take on it. You ready? My take is A, Barracks is extremely expensive. B, Barracks wants tenants and long-term leases that don't offer much flexibility. C, Barracks is a publicly traded company. Federal Realty, the owner of Barracks Road Shopping Center, does not mess around. Their leases are ironclad tight. They're personal guarantees. Your house is on the line. Next, retail being cannibalized by the internet faster and faster and faster and faster every single day. Kevin Yancey says if you averaged Barracks Road and Stonefield, I'd bet the percentages were very similar. I think that's a very good bet. Stonefield is riding the coattails of Barracks when it comes to price per square foot. Stonefield in Albemarle County, though, Barracks in the city. Barracks needs to position itself, many retail shopping districts need to reposition themselves from selling widgets on shelves to an omni-experiential shopping experience. This is what omni-experiential means. You go into the location and you can experience something that you cannot experience by buying something on Amazon. The Happy Cook. You can go into the Happy Cook. Monique owns the business, and you can take cooking classes in person. You can make an awesome dish, learn how to make the awesome dish, and you can try the utensils that they sell on the shelves. You fall in love with the tools and the utensils, the cooking equipment while doing the class, and then you can buy them right when the class is over and take them home. Mm-hmm. Patty Zeller, Animal Connection. You go into Animal Connection not just to buy dog food, leashes, and treats, but you go into Animal Connection to get dog grooming, to use a self-serve dog wash, to get knowledge and expertise from someone that's been in the business for decades. You get dog training. That's omni-experiential. Furthermore, I think those shopping centers need to start focusing on things like exercise and sports, experiences. That's why you're seeing in Richmond, Tallheimer, the real estate giant Tallheimer is literally developing empty shopping centers into pickleball epicenters. Pickleball epicenters. Look at Barracks Road Shopping Center. They have, we had this founders on the program. I'm drawing a blank on this. I got to be out of here in 3 minutes to make my 2 o'clock. Stretch Lab. We had the husband and wife behind Stretch Lab. That's in Barracks Road Shopping Center. You go to Barracks now, and you can have stretchologists stretch you out on a table in Barracks Road Shopping Center. Orange Theory is in Barracks Road Shopping Center. Salons in Barracks Road Shopping Center. Restaurants, Barracks Road Shopping Center. Grocery stores, Barracks Road Shopping Center. Jason Halloran and his beautiful wife are the co-owners of Stretch Lab. Mm-hmm. You're just having to see a lot of storefronts pivot and adapt. I mean, take what we're doing here. We have 24 executive office spaces that we own and manage. Look at some of the new tenants that have moved in. One of them is a massage therapist. One of them is a photographer. We have a camera studio, someone who does corporate video shoots. Before the pandemic, you had sit down at your desk professionals. Now you have chiropractors and dentists and massage therapists and photographers. It's called innovating and adapting. It's what successful entrepreneurs do well. Christian Piccolo, one of Phi Kappa Psi's finest, is watching the program right now. Christian Piccolo, I remember when we played 2-on-2 basketball outside Phi Kappa Psi. I was guarding you on the perimeter. You crossed me over, took me to the rack, and tried to dunk on my head. You basically did it. You were a beast on that Phi Kappa Psi basketball court, my friend. Daniel Grimes watching the program. I see 12 different states on the show. Cara of Ting watching the show. Sarah James watching the show. Maria Welsh watching the program. Show airs all over social media live. 8 vacant storefronts in Barracks is concerning. A couple of items out of the notebook. I got to get out of here in 2 minutes. I guess I'm going to save my final months of 2023 thoughts and predictions until Monday. Monday's show is going to be exciting. Greene County Supervisor resigned midterm. Neil Williamson broke this news. Abby Heflin resigned in the middle of her term on the Greene County Board of Supervisors. She was the supervisor and the representative for the Standardsville District. Her term expires in December 31 of 2025. She has over 2 years left on her term. And she resigned midterm. Breaking news from Neil Williamson and the Free Enterprise Forum. Matthew Lawson, hello and welcome to the show. I'm going to close with thoughts and perspective on the manhunt from yesterday.
Okay.
You can offer any perspective here.
I've got my own little personal interest story.
Oh, you have okay, go ahead, my friend. Can you do it in 30 seconds so I'm not late?
Yeah.
Okay, show's yours.
I'm gonna bring this back around to the beginning where you asked about my grandmother and the Jim Beam. Well, I got to see my grandmother this weekend. Not in the way you might think, because she passed away years ago. But somebody brought her ashes in, and we're looking at it on screen right now, in a tiny little Jim Beam bottle. And here are my mom and sisters and I.
You're putting this on screen?
With my grandmother.
Wow. Judah seeing his grandmother, who smoked darts, smoked lung butter sticks, smoked like a chimney, pounded Jim Beam whiskey, loved Jim Beam whiskey, loved Jim Beam. That's your grandma in that Jim Beam airplane bottle?
Yep.
Her entire body fits?
No, I don't think that's all of the ashes
okay.
that are left.
No. Okay, so that's not all the ashes of a human. I don't know how the cremation works. Do all the ashes of a human fit in a Jim Beam airplane bottle?
Something tells me no.
Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen.
I just took it off.
Your grandma, put it back on screen. You know what? I'll save my thoughts on the manhunt for Monday. I'm going to close with thoughts on Judah's grandma. I've never met her, but she sounds like an amazing woman. This woman had a business card in her purse where she would go to cocktail hour. She'd pull out this business card, which showed exactly how she wanted her Jim Beam poured for her. She wanted 2 rocks glasses, 1 glass with the rocks, and the other glass strictly of Jim Beam.
Yep.
Give me the rocks glass and the Jim Beam. She had dangling from her lips an extended Virginia Slims. What kind of cigarettes did she smoke?
It may have been Virginia Slims.
You've said in the past Virginia Slims. My memory is damn good. She had an extended, the long version
would know better.
of Virginia Slims dangling from her lip, a cloud of cigarette smoke engulfing. When did she die? How old?
95.
A cloud of cigarette smoke engulfing her 95-year-old body. Her hair was perfect. Her bonnet unruffled. Her blouse pristinely pressed. Her lipstick perfectly manicured on her lush lips.
Alrighty then.
The stain of her lipstick.
Better than I did.
The stain of her lipstick on the butt of her Virginia Slim. The whiskey, a spoon, grabs a couple of rocks, drops it in the Jim Beam. She sips it, she takes a drag, and she tells Judah Wickower, Mandy and Tricia, I love you guys. I love you dearly. And that's the I Love CVille show on a Friday.
Definitely not my grandmother.
For Mrs. Wickower, what was her name?
What, my grandmother?
Yeah.
She was not a Wickower. She was, well,
I have to go.
her name was Catherine, Catherine Laird.
For
Kitty Laird.
For Kitty. Kitty's a great name.
Yeah.
Anyone named Kitty.
She hated cats.
Anyone named Kitty loves to booze. For all the kitties out there
Maybe.
who love to booze, you guys have a good weekend.